Good afternoon and welcome to Open Studios right here on DSTV channel 263. My name is Phemelo and Caley, aka the P Master, and I'm your host for this afternoon's show. Trust me, today's show is a very interesting one, and I'm very much excited to be sitting on the couch today with Caley van der Kolk, right? You guys might remember her from back in 2015, I think 3 years ago, when she was on the top 10 finalist of the presenter search on 3 as that lady who said when she walked into the judges room that something that is a very fascinating line that I believe is somehow, I don't know, every time that line comes about, we remember Caley. Caley, welcome to the Open Studio Couch.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's very much exciting to be having you. To think that, I was actually in high school back in 2015 watching, and we're very much excited that, oh my God, look at a white person who actually speaks Xhosa so well.
I'm so glad you remember me.
It is very, very fascinating, and I'm very happy to be having you on the couch today. Now, we are going to be discussing all things about Heavy Chef, that you're currently involved in. But just before we can get there, I want you to actually tell us about what you do. I think people maybe might be interested in actually what have you been up to ever since after the presenter session 3?
Sure. So 2015 presenter search, which was a whirlwind experience, right? I was not a presenter before that, and overnight it was actually my grandmother that said, Caley, go and enter this thing, and eventually I find myself in top 10. So obviously doors open, right?
Yeah.
So it was about taking a step back after that and going, okay, right, this presenting thing has opened up, but what is it that I truly want to do? And I played around with entrepreneurship in one venture before that, but it wasn't exactly the field that I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
So I started exploring what is the long-term impact that I wanted to have, and it sat in the creative space, and it sat in the artisanal arena. So in 2015, I watched a speech by John Kerry from the USA, where he said the new startup economy is the artisan economy, right?
Yeah.
He said we don't necessarily have to go into developing nations and teach formal education. That's just our Western perspective.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can go in and appreciate the existing skill set and actually open the market for that instead.
Yeah, true.
So 2016, I founded a company called Artisans in Africa, and I've been working on that as the CEO ever since. 2016, we're only going to go live in end of 2018, beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
So I've been hustling on an entrepreneurial venture, but because it's people-centric, I don't believe in fail fast. As soon as there's people involved, rather take your time, get it right, because it's actually people's livelihoods at stake, right?
Yeah, true.
So I'm the CEO of that venture, learning a lot of hard lessons in the grind. After this, I'm going to go sit in my gown behind a computer and keep grafting, right?
Yeah.
And then on the side, I'm also the presenter of an entrepreneur organization called Heavy Chef.
Well, I must say it's very fascinating, and you have an amazing personality. From the minute actually I met you, it is with no doubt that you actually made through to the finals of presenter session 3.
Thank you.
Now, I want to find out now, just before we can get to, I want to find out what actually inspired the brand that you started. Is it that you actually come from, back in the communities where you're exposed to different people who had so much skills, and you just wanted to bring that to the fore? Would you say that is actually what inspired
100%. So I'm from an Xhosa village. We were one of 2 white families that were raised there. So people always say to me, wow, that was such an unconventional upbringing. But for me, it was just my upbringing, right? I didn't know anything else. So every weekend we would go to the coast. There's a place called the Wild Coast, Mouth. And my grandmother supplied beads to the local ladies there. They would take these beads to create bracelets, necklaces that they would sell at the local hotel, right? So that income, as well as grant income, was what they used to support themselves. They've been doing that for 40 years. Their craft is incredible, but it hasn't changed because they haven't had that outside perspective. So I always thought from young I wanted to come back and film a documentary on them, which is what I did in 2016. Was it before I launched the company? No, it was at the same time. And we got picked up by Discovery Channel. So that was like, okay, I'm on the right track. I believe in signs from the big guy above saying like this is the right track, keep going.
Right track for you.
So that was the first sort of tick on the keep going with Artisans in Africa. So I've had signs along the way, but certainly I think a lot of things in my life have taken me back to village life. I feel a deep sense, not to give back, because I gain from the village, man. There's a simplicity there that is beautiful. But yeah, certainly it keeps taking me back for work into rural Transkei, and I love it.
Yes, you know, I like the fact that you're mentioning now that not that you're giving, but also you are learning from it. And there's the saying that goes that much is given, much is also taken from it. And the fact that you see the need to put it out there. It's amazing that people like you are still out there. Now let's get to this, the Heavy Chef. Tell us about the Heavy Chef. What is it about? And because I believe when you hear the name the Heavy Chef, someone is thinking of some cooking.
Of course, you know. And people always, because I used to get jokes in university. They're like, "You're Nigella Lawson, right? You're like a chef." I'm like, "No," and now I work for Heavy Chef, so it confuses people even more.
Yeah.
But Heavy Chef has nothing to do with cooking, none at all. In actual fact, I'm a terrible cook. Our founder is a dreadlocked white man. He's even worse at cooking. Heavy Chef comes from the saying, "Never trust a skinny chef." It's not my organization. It was founded by a very clever man called Fred Rowe 12 years ago. It was a side project of his agency where he would get heavy chefs, people who'd actually made it, right, in a practical sense, not those that are talking, those that are rolling up their sleeves and doing, to come in and talk to the guys in his agency. He ran a digital agency so that they could learn.
All right.
From about, I think the first event that they had was in a flat. There were maybe about 8 people. It's now a community of 25,000 people strong.
Yeah.
And I think Heavy Chef has grown because it's authentic, really and truly. People see that the people involved in it and the brand itself is authentic around creating learning experiences for entrepreneurs.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We are going to be going to an ad break right now. When you come back from the break, we're going to be learning more about Heavy Chef and, of course, getting into more details. So make sure that you stay right there with us. Open Studios, DSTV channel 263. Welcome back to it right here, Open Studios, DSTV channel 263. Still with myself, Phemelo and Caley, aka the P Master. And just in case you just joined us, we are joined by Caley van der Gok right here. We are talking all things about Heavy Chef. That is, of course, an initiative that is giving platform to entrepreneurs. Caley, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Well, it's before the break, we actually got into speaking more about you and also understanding Heavy Chef, right? It's a platform that you're giving to entrepreneurs. Now, just because of probably the people who are watching out there are not exposed to these terms, let's get to this, understanding what an entrepreneur is, what an entrepreneur is, what a technologist is. Take us through that.
So I think if I had to think of what an entrepreneur is, it's basically somebody who works for themselves to generate income in whatever way that may be, right? So you get various types of entrepreneurs. You get entrepreneurs that sell like a tangible good, like selling this jacket, and then you'll get entrepreneurs that sell their time or their services. For example, you may become a presenter and then sell your presenting services later on. There's anybody who's selling something or their time in exchange for money. Right? And so I mean, there's the more I get exposed to entrepreneurs, the more I see the range of entrepreneurship that is about. And nowadays, more than ever, because of technology, anybody can become an entrepreneur. Yeah,
that is so true in the world that we live in. And it's very much advisable as well, you know, for people to be exploring into entrepreneurship. Now, what you guys do is that you bring people, different people who have different stories to tell, as you mentioned a little bit earlier on. That it's not about people who particularly, you know, read books or who are academics, but people who have success stories just by applying whatever knowledge of which they had. Why do you feel like, why is this so significant?
So I think, you know, the old school university system has existed for a while, and it certainly served a purpose, right? And people have felt like we need to gain knowledge first before going out into the world and actually doing something. But because the world has started to change so fast because of technology, it's almost rendered these like, not all university degrees, but many of them actually have become redundant. So you're better off learning as you're doing, right? As an entrepreneur nowadays, I study, for example, I'm building a website at the moment. I'm doing it on Squarespace, which I would advise people use in South Africa now because it's the easiest platform. But in 3 months' time, there may be something new on the market, right? True. And so as an entrepreneur nowadays, you're actually a learning machine. So we like to bring the guys that have made it, that are making it, because it means that they've mastered a certain arena of entrepreneurship. Be that social media, be that finance for small businesses. They are staying on top of their game. You know, a textbook, I mean, it can be renewed once a year, but these guys that are heavy chefs need to stay on top of their game at all points in time. So it's a privilege to learn from people who are actually masters of what they're talking about, right? And also, I think textbooks can only teach us so much.
Yeah, true. That is
the
so
guys
true.
that have made it, they have the small details that are actually key to success. And often it's in the smaller things that you learn more, right? It's like how to manage your mind, how to manage stress levels, how to manage your time. And so we learn about the core principles of entrepreneurship, but also about the core principles surrounding your own life from these masters that grace the Heavy Chef stage.
Yeah. You know, that is so important, especially taking into account the state of the country at this point in time, that, you know, there's high poverty levels. There's people who out of school, not all of them actually manage to make it to higher education, and somehow there must be a way for them to be able to make it out there. Now, tell me about your role in Heavy Chef, and tell me also about, you know, some of your experiences, the most inspiring entrepreneurs stories that you've actually have heard during the
So I think most inspiring is we hosted DJ Spoo in Khayelitsha about a month back, and I mean, his energy and his story was just absolutely incredible. I mean, he's a boundary pushing individual, right? Like he breaks boundaries left, right, and center, but the guys were so inspired. I mean, we had grown men in the room crying because they were so moved, not only by the fact that he was standing on the stage, but also by the fact that finally we were bridging the Cape Town divide. We had all cultures, all races in a room in Khayelitsha, which was truly amazing. I mean, for me, I'm particularly inspired by people whose stories haven't been linear, but you get very few entrepreneurs whose stories are linear. But, you know, the guys that have failed, and then picked themselves up, and they've taken this opportunity that they've seen left of center. You know, those are the stories that really speak to me. I know you're a CA, right?
Yeah, so a CA in the making.
CA in the making, right? I think all of the entrepreneurs that we see on the stage like need one of those or are one of those, and then they go, you know, they go on to grow amazing businesses.
Yeah,
so,
true.
I mean, I'm trying to think of what has been most inspiring. Yeah, I think DJ Spoo truly stood out, and we're starting to see a lot more women come through the ranks.
That is so amazing, and
which is very cool.
It really is.
Yeah. And so my role in Heavy Chef is really to tell the stories of entrepreneurs, and I can't tell the superficial side of it that says, hey, look at me, you know, I'm balling now, I'm rolling, I've made it. It's actually like, let's get to the heart of what lessons you can give back to the community. So I go in, I will interview guys and get to the crux and try and extract what the actual lesson is from this particular person that we can give to our community of 25,000 and hopefully growing entrepreneurs.
All right. You've mentioned earlier on that it has been there for like 12 years. What is it that is actually Heavy Chef is doing to ensure that they remain in the forefront and remains relevant to the people of which you guys target?
Completely a good question. So at the moment we host workshops, which is taught by these master classes, these masters in business. We host events, and it was hosted solely in Waterfront and Sandton. We're now moving to, we've moved already to Khayelitsha.
That's been
we're moving to Philippi, and we're moving to Soweto. So for one, we're ensuring that our footprint is actually not just mainstream Cape Town, mainstream Johannesburg. Just like you guys at Cape Town TV, we're trying to be inclusive. So from next year, there's also a foundation, right? That's actually going to be taking entrepreneurs through, I think it's going to be a full 12-month cycle of entrepreneurship courses taught by the best of the best and funded. So we really are trying to be inclusive because, again, at Heavy Chef, we don't believe that you need a formal education to be an entrepreneur, right? Sometimes guys come, they don't even finish school and they have the most successful entrepreneur stories. So the foundation is going to make sure that we include the future entrepreneurs, whether they have the finances or not, take them through a program, and at the other side, they will be exposed to funders, their stories will be told. In some sense, we're becoming like the entrepreneurial cog, right? So if you join the system, at the end, we'll keep that high touch support, you know, through services that Heavy Chef offers. All right, man.
We're going to be taking a quick break right now. When you come back, we're going to be getting into the very last segment of the show. Make sure that you stay with us right here, Cape Town TV, channel 263. Welcome back to the very last segment of Open Studios right here, DSTV channel 263. And of course, you're still with me, Phemelo and Caley, aka the P Master, joined here by Kelly van der Golk here on Studios, talking all things about the Heavy Chef, a platform that is being given to entrepreneurs. Welcome back to the last segment of the show, Kelly. Before the break, you did mention that you guys actually are moving from mainstream to going to townships like Philippi and Khayelitsha. Now, I want you to let me know what is it that actually, drawn you guys to be looking into the likes of Khayelitsha to do the project then?
Heavy Chef, by its nature, was based in Cape Town Centre, right?
Yeah.
It was hosted in Woodstock. I think at some point Microsoft sponsored it. I'm not trying to give them airtime. They're not a sponsor. But and then we moved to Workshop 17 at the waterfront.
Yeah.
Which is quite exclusive, And at the end or at the beginning of 2017, Heavy Chef became a business. It's not a charity because we wanted it to remain competitive, right? We wanted to be able to move at our own pace and not have to rely on funders to, keep us going.
Keep it going.
We realized, sure, if we're going to be a business, we really need to shake up this entrepreneurship tree. We really need to become innovative.
Yeah, true.
And so I think all of us at Heavy Chef are boundary pushing. We're fringe players.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen that the services that have been offered to entrepreneurs to date have often ticked compliance boxes, but they haven't really helped. And so I think we really are pushing the boundaries here. We're trying to raise the bar. At the moment, we're considered the best platform in South Africa, but that's not good enough for us. We're competing with ourselves now. We need to keep raising the bar because we're on a mission. It's not only about us, but if we can get this thing right, then we can inspire and empower entrepreneurs, and ultimately then we can create change in South Africa from the bottom up versus waiting, as we have been, for the top-down approach, right? And so again, we believe that entrepreneurs are found anywhere and everywhere, which is what's beautiful about it. You can't actually predict who's going to be a successful entrepreneur. Of course, you can give people the building blocks to help them, but it's often return on luck, personality, right timing, right place. And so it really is inclusive. It's one of the career choices that is inclusive. So by its nature, we need to make our platform inclusive, and we need to go to the people, So at the moment, we're running events in Khayelitsha. We're moving to Philippi, but we're soon going to be taking our masterclasses there as well. So,
All right. Now, tell us about the team that is behind Heavy Chef and what are some of their stories? Just briefly getting into that.
So I think the team behind Heavy Chef is very eclectic. We have a white founder who has dreadlocks. He's a proper hippie. He's extremely intelligent. He ran a very successful digital marketing agency for 15 years. He's now acting as CEO on Heavy Chef. We've then got Siyabonga Mbaba Wilson, who is an entrepreneur from Khayelitsha, who's acting as our project lead in Khayelitsha, and he's also going to be looking about growing into Philippi, growing into Soweto. So we've got someone on the ground, taking perspective from someone who's based in Khayelitsha as to what entrepreneurs truly need. Then we've got Zhuzha, who is from Eastern Europe. So she brings that regimented organization to the team. And then you've got me, who was born and raised in a rural Xhosa village and is hopefully bringing a different dynamic to telling the stories of entrepreneurship. So there's 4 of us at the moment, so it's crazy that there's 4 of us, and yet we have a platform of about 25,000, right?
I was about to get to that it is so amazing, and what's mostly amazing also about it is the fact that you guys come all from different walks of life, coming together, so there's different perspectives to this, and of course you bringing all your abilities, capabilities, and mindset to this, which is why I believe it's making it, stand at the forefront, one of the best in the countries you mentioned.
And I forgot to mention, we do have a finance and legal support function that also lives behind us, because we're more of the creative visionaries. So if you leave that stuff up to us, we'll probably get it really wrong, So there's 4 of us at the forefront really driving the vision, and then behind it we've got the CA, the finance guys, who were with Fred, who's our CEO in his prior business. And we've got guys that are jumping on board from the outside saying, we'll help you with legal services, which has been amazing. I think as soon as you set a mission and it has a bigger meaning and purpose than yourself, guys jump on board to help out, which has been, I mean, this is a crazy journey, but it's, we really appreciate, you guys asking us about our stories, giving us exposure. So thank you, like, to Cape Town TV, but also thanks to the guys that are helping us out, you know, with the services surrounding us.
Yeah, no, we also appreciating the fact that you guys are also coming out and sharing your stories, because you never know that sharing such stories could actually also inspire someone out there who's actually getting into entrepreneurship, maybe.
Totally.
And as well as sharing stories of successful entrepreneurs as well in such a platform could also inspire so many other people out there, and to also go out there and, you know, get into the root of entrepreneurship in the country that we live in. Now, I want us to briefly, just wrapping it up, fine. I wanted us to get into something, but unfortunately, it seems like we've run out of time.
Okay,
but thank you so
back,
much. Yeah, of course, we can always come back. Thank you so much for coming through and joining me, Caley. And
it's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure.
And all the best for chartered accountancy in the making, right?
Yeah,
such a valuable skill.
Yeah, very, very much. Thank you so much for joining.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Yes, man, and of course, thank you guys as well for joining us on the show today. It's been an absolutely amazing one. Remember that if you'd like to find out more information, go through online. It is Heavy Chef, right? They can find
heavychef.com and then artisansinafrica.com.
Yeah, all right. That is how you can find them online. And as if you'd like to find out more information about our show, do ensure that you visit our Facebook page. That is, of course, Cape Town TV. From myself, Phemelo and Caley, aka the P Master, and the Open Studio crew, goodbye. And until we meet again, stay blessed.